Welcome to episode 4 of 30 Minutes with Darius. Good morning to you, brother.
Good morning, brother. How are you, man?
I'm good this morning, man. You got me up early again,
Come on,
to get it in to
man.
talk all things sports, all things fantasy. Um,
Sir.
got a special week going on this week, man. One of the biggest sports events in the world is happening this weekend. Um, let's get into it, man. Who you got?
Super Bowl.
Who you
Super
got?
Bowl.
Yeah, buddy, Super Bowl weekend.
Yes, sir.
So
We
what's your
got
pick,
Philly.
man? What we got? We got Philly,
We
and
got Philly. We got
we
KC.
got
We got,
KC.
man, the
Yeah,
two best teams.
right.
I was watching the AFC, NFC championships last week,
Mm-hmm.
and it was clear to me, man, those are the four best teams. It's
Yep.
unfortunate San Francisco had the issues with the quarterback, so we really didn't see them at full strength against Philadelphia. But Philadelphia, man, they're tough, dude, on both sides of the ball, offense, defense. They can come at you, you know, multiple ways, man. They can run the ball. They got AJ Brown. They got Smith on the outside.
Yeah.
Goddard, the tight end. Hurt can kill you with his legs. So, man, I think Philadelphia is going to be tough. I'm picking Philadelphia to
Yeah.
beat Kansas City in the championship, but it's so hard to pick against Patrick Mahomes,
It
man.
is.
I
It
mean,
is.
it's hard to pick against him. He's won one championship, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, he's not at the Tom Brady level, but he's from that same ilk where you just couldn't bet against Brady, no
Yeah.
matter how good the other team was. Like, you feel like they're gonna find a way. He's that type of guy that, I mean,
That
through
finds
an
a way.
ankle injury,
Yeah.
through trades, like new receivers, all that. That dude is gonna
Yeah.
find a way to win it. So
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just
he's
hoping
fine,
it's a
and
good
he's a
game.
leader too, man. I think
Yeah,
I was watching an interview with Travis Kelsey, um, and he was just talking about how it's not, it's rare, in my opinion, that you find leadership, or people that, like, you can see it, and then you have if they're leading a team, so to speak, you have people
yeah,
behind them that's just like, he the like he the real he's the real deal at that
right,
age, right?
right,
So
right.
he's carrying a football team of most of those players are probably older than him, if not much older, right? So it's just like,
Yeah,
the things he's been able to do in the time that he's been in the league is pretty damn amazing.
yeah,
Um, and I mean, Jalen Hurts ain't no slouch either, right? I wish in a perfect world they were both like healthy. Like this was the first game of the season, and it's like they were ready to
yeah,
go, because
yeah,
that would make it even that much more exciting, in my opinion.
yeah.
Um, but it also still may make for a better game with both of the quarterbacks kind of still being banged up. The teams are a little banged up, so it's a real war. It's like, yeah, we battled and fought to get here, and now
Yeah,
it's like we got to give it all and lay it all out on the line. So it should be a
that's right.
a, a very fun game, man. And
It-
they both have interesting stories. I'm just starting to read a little bit more about um, and watch a little bit more about Jalen Hurts, right, and just how he
yeah,
carries himself, and
yeah,
all of those things, and how he kind of went through a situation at Alabama, um, and now he's the thing they're writing about now is that he's the first quarterback to make it to the Super Bowl with an all female, like, I'll say, management team. So he has a
management team. Yeah,
female agent, female manager,
yeah,
female, X, Y, and Z. So,
yeah,
which is also pretty interesting too in an industry like the NFL or any sports industry, to be honest with you, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so they all both have good stories. So it should be fun, man. My
Yeah.
pick, um,
Who you picking?
yeah, yeah, I agree. It's hard to pick against Mahomes. I really don't have a dog in the fight. Um, I'm just interested in seeing the game. Happy to see two young brothers playing against each other.
That's right. Black History Month,
Yeah,
first
Black
time
History
in NFL,
Month.
first time in NFL history, two
First
black
time.
quarterbacks
Yep.
competing
Yep.
against each other.
And you know
That
what's
too is amazing, man. Like,
yeah.
I mean, as long as we've been alive, like we're still like at these first. I remember when the
Right.
Bears went against Indianapolis in the Super Bowl, and it was Lovey versus Dungy, and It's,
Yeah.
two black coaches, and that was such a big deal. And here we are, what, 15 years,
Mm,
16 years later, and now we got two black quarterbacks. Like,
right. And the other
yeah,
interesting thing too is that it kind of breaks down some of these stereotypes. And I don't know. I feel like it's still true in the NFL, and maybe it's just conversations and barbershop talk amongst fans. Um, but these quarterbacks seem to also be cerebral, which kind of, you know, um, kills the
mm-hmm,
stereotypes of like all black quarterbacks do is their athleticism is all they have, right?
mm-hmm,
These guys
mm-hmm.
have both, so it's interesting
Oh
from
yeah,
that regard too.
oh yeah, oh yeah. No, those both of them can break down a defense.
Yeah,
Um, but their athleticism sets them apart. It's undeniable. So I mean, that's,
right.
I mean, that should never be viewed as a negative.
No, I
Um,
shouldn't. But I
yeah,
know, for a while it was just like that's all
yeah,
they
I
could.
know.
That was the
That's all
yeah.
they can do. They're
That's
running
all they could
quarterbacks.
do.
They're running
Yep.
quarterbacks. They can't sit back, read a defense, make throws. Oh
Right.
man, they threw for 4,000 yards. You see Geno Smith in his first year as a starting quarterback. He's throwing for 4,200 yards. He's in the Pro Bowl. Like, we sitting back.
Yeah.
We can play the position well.
Yeah.
So no, I'm proud of him. And like I said, I think we talked about it on last episode. Just
Yeah.
super proud of Jalen Hurts for persevering through what happened in Alabama and all that stuff, man. And them not even knowing if he was still the go-to guy, the starter in Philly, and Philly like really, I mean, the coaching staff and ownership embracing him and saying, no, he's the starter, and he
Hmm.
came and delivered, man. And now they're in the championship. So
Yeah.
shout out to them too for Philly building an organization where they can get back to the championship within a short window with a different quarterback, a different regime. So
Right.
man,
For
can't
sure.
wait for my Bears to get there.
Oh man. Um that's a whole nother conversation that's gonna go
That is
beyond
another
30 minutes.
conversation, man. I'm so
30 minutes
we
with
talking
Bears.
about quarterbacks, Justin Fields, man. I don't know. Some people talking about trade him, get another quarterback in the draft.
I think
I
the
don't think
Bears would
that's
be
gonna happen.
stupid to do it,
Yeah, it
in my
would be.
opinion. Right?
No, I
I
think
think, you know, um, he really hasn't had a coaching staff that supports him, in my opinion, fully, right? And somebody that will be there to help kind of develop and see some things. I've seen enough flashes to say, if they get him some protection, um, he can definitely be one of the best quarterbacks that Chicago has ever had. And I know it's way early to be saying that, but you got to also look at all the quarterbacks that Chicago has had.
that's right. That's
We
right.
just historically have not had a a Pro Bowl caliber, consistently
Caliber.
Pro Bowl caliber quarterback, right? And I think he has the tools to do that. And I would hate to see him get traded, and then become that or get close to that, right? It just would be another bad day to
Yeah,
talk about in
it would
Chicago
be
sports.
terrible.
Yeah,
I don't think this new regime can afford to let him go and take that risk.
yeah.
Because Justin Fields is now like elevating his status in Chicago at an early like age to
Hmm.
almost like that early Derrick Rose type of
You
like.
think so?
Oh yeah, I mean the city is starting to embrace him like that.
Oh,
You see
yeah,
Fields jerseys.
yeah.
I'm not talking about his accomplishments on the field yet,
Okay,
although he just ran for 2,000. I mean,
right.
almost 2,000 yards or whatever. So his accomplishments on the field aren't to be slighted, but like people love him in
Hmm.
Chicago.
Yeah,
And as a new regime, if you ship that out, like you may lose the confidence of the city. And that's almost just important as, trying to
yeah.
make the
And but I
decisions
don't
on the
know if
field.
they would do it. You know, call it conspiracy theory. But if they did do it, then you know, they still would have to bank on the obviously the fans of Chicago. But with this whole move to Arlington Heights thing too, um, you, if they're if they clean the house, they clean the house, right? Um,
Yeah.
that may or
Yeah.
may not include Justin Fields, but again, who knows what's going on in that um, in the upper room, as you
That's
like
right.
to
That's
say.
right. But I think it would make more sense to keep him to move to Arlington Heights because he already has a fan base. And the
Sure.
big thing that you want to do moving to another city outside of Chicago is make sure that you that the fans are excited enough to travel and
Sure.
go to this new stadium. So
Sure.
I think all signs point to keeping Justin Fields, the new darling of Chicago, at quarterback, and I think it's the right thing to do. We got to get him. I mean, like you said, we just got to surround him with the right weapons for him to
Yeah.
succeed. Give him the best opportunity to succeed.
Yeah, and I think if they do that,
Absolutely.
we be solid. We be
Yeah.
solid. So,
Yes,
but we'll
sir.
see. It's Chicago sports, man. I mean, we get into it too. The Bulls are that's another conversation, the topic too about what they getting ready to do, and if they're gonna do anything by this trade deadline. But
Yeah.
that notwithstanding, we'll get into that. But
Yeah.
football is on the tail end, right? So
Right.
last game of the season, right? So fantasy football will be over um, until the new season starts. What's going on League Swipe, man? What are we doing next? What do we got going on? And oh, you also have something to talk about with respect to like Super Bowl. I don't want to say betting, but opportunities for the fans to join in
Oh yeah, we got the
and
league.
participate. So what we got going on there?
Yeah, we got the league swipe Super Bowl squares. Download the app, get an opportunity to participate, man. Um, we'll have to drop the link to the pool in the chat. But yeah, we got a Super Bowl square pool going, a couple of them. So definitely love you to participate in that. Share it around with your fantasy league mates and all that good stuff, man. We're just trying to get people excited about what we're building in League Swipe. Get them an opportunity to play alongside us. Like I said, man, this is built by people that love the game and love participating in fantasy sports and all things sports betting, and what I'm saying, just creating fun around the games we love, man. So that's how we're going to wrap up the NFL season. Um, League Swipe doesn't stop at NFL. We're all sports. We're on board new sports like weekly, almost daily. So we're in the NBA season now. We got NBA leagues up and running on our platform. We're moving from there to baseball. We got hockey coming, man. We got cricket coming. Like we're gonna be
Cricket,
all things sports. If a
cricket.
ball is being hit, kicked, or caught, League Swipe is gonna be there and be part of the action. You can definitely believe that, man.
I may just join a cricket league just to see what it's like.
Hey,
Starting
man,
to see how it go. I have no idea how that all works out, man. It's kind of
listen.
similar to
I'm trying to
basketball.
learn the game. I mean, it's one of the most popular games worldwide. Probably
Yeah,
number two to soccer in the world. And I live in a
insane.
neighborhood where a lot of people play cricket. So my son will go outside with his baseball glove and end up playing cricket for the next 30, 40 minutes because of our neighbors and stuff. But
Right.
no, it's cool, man. So we all inclusive. We started in the
Hmm.
States with League Swipe, but we're gonna be global soon. And we got some nice partnerships coming up that'll allow us to move into some of those markets and take and bring League Swipe to fans globally, you know, who enjoy cricket and other global sports.
Yeah, for sure. So when you say that basketball is kicking off, so the season has been going on, so there's obviously fantasy leagues happening now. Um, it's just talk a little bit about how the platform is kind of turning on in terms of basketball. Is it are we ready now to kind of download and just leverage the platform for basketball, or is there a feature you're turning on to enable basketball?
The app is ready for you to, if you participate in a basketball fantasy league, you could download the app and take full advantage of our capabilities to manage payouts. So, although the season has started, your league has started. If you're manually doing weekly payouts, if you, have your end of season payouts ready, you could just go on the league swipe, enter in your payout structure with the weekly prop bets are, and plug into the platform that you use, and we'll take over payments, man. We'll tell you who won, how much they won. We'll send you the nice report that we always do. So that's the payout feature. If you join at the beginning of the fantasy campaign, we'll help you collect money for your league. But obviously the NBA season has already started. But as we know, in a lot of different leagues, everyone hasn't paid, even though we're halfway in the season. So if you
Right.
want to help, if you need help collecting those last bits of payments from your, the managers in your league, we can help you with that too, man. We got our NAG feature, which will be dropping soon, that allow you to tell us who hasn't paid, how much they owe, how you want us to contact them via email, via text message, at what frequency, daily, weekly. And we'll keep nagging them until they pay you, man. But we do it in a nice, fun way. Um, and, it's an effective way too, man. So we had some real good feedback from our early beta testers on that feature. So it should be live in a few weeks. So yeah, man. Download the app. The best way to find out where we are in the process of building League Swipe is to download the app and stay up to date on what's happening with League Swipe, man. So we're live on the Apple Store, Google Play Store. It's easy. Go download it, share it, participate in the Super Bowl squares. We got other fun stuff coming up. March Madness is around the corner. I can't even
March
believe
Madness.
it.
I know.
Like it is February.
Yep.
We already talking about
Th-
March Madness.
those
So
brackets.
those brackets gonna be coming out. So we want to
Yep.
help you, man, even manage that. So yeah, man. We got a
Yeah.
lot going on.
Looking
Trying to
forward.
do it right, man. We're still talking to customers. So the folks that get on now, um, you know, expect an email directly from me saying, "What's up? Welcome to League Swipe. Thank you for joining. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. We're big boys. We know this is the early stages. It might be, it's not as pretty as it is going to be it's going to be when we're all said and done, but we want to make sure we get the right input from folks early, man. So we want to build it in the right way.
Absolutely. Get
Yep.
in. We're looking for those early adopters, those people that are get in and they're excited about being a part of something new, something fresh, something valuable because it is valuable. Um,
Yep.
the app definitely does give you back um, time, right? Takes away
That's right.
from you having to really sit back and manage a group of grown men and women that that really just want to play and have some fun, as opposed to like doing all the administrative work. Right, League Swipe
That's
steps
right.
in and takes care of that for you. So definitely glad you went
I was
ahead
just
and
talking to a customer on Friday, man,
yep,
a user, and they in a few of his leagues they only do end of season payouts, right? So whoever wins first, second, and third, they pay out at the end of the season. He's always wanted to do weekly payouts because he knows that it increases engagement during the league, through the season for his league. But he didn't want to deal with the administration, right? He didn't want to have to remember what the payout was, whether it was high score or most runs or longest touchdown, and he didn't want to have to go to each one of the leagues and or each one of the teams and the games to see who had the most rushing yards, and he just didn't want to deal with the administrative burden. So when he saw that we do that automatically, like we gave him back that potentially 15-20 minutes per week per league, by doing that, automating that, like he was super excited. And he's not the only one. So man, we want to get people out of spreadsheets and back to doing the stuff that they enjoy. And you know what that is, man. That's talking trash
for sure.
with your friends and all that good stuff, man. So yeah,
Yep.
real
Get
value, man. That's what we want to deliver, real value. Like there's a lot of folks out here trying to create the next great game. Like people are already playing games that they enjoy. We just trying to make it better.
for sure. and and I agree. So I can't wait for March Madness to jump right on in, and then we have baseball coming up. Basketball and baseball are two. Those are some of the most administratively intense
That's right.
leagues or sports from a fantasy perspective that you'll ever participate in, right? And so I'm excited to get involved again, like in baseball and basketball. Um, just to see just to know and that I don't have to deal with this administrative stuff. Like let's talk trash, as you say, right?
That's right. That's right. You don't have to deal with it on the payment side. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's already enough to have to
Enough.
set your lineups daily.
Right. Daily, for sure.
Also, try to figure out, who's winning and all that good stuff, and communicate it with the league like
Yeah.
that. becomes more of a headache for the commissioner. So we want to relieve some of that strain so they can focus on who to
Yep,
start and sit,
for
instead
sure.
of who to pay and who to collect from.
Correct. So let's pivot a little bit. We'll pivot back to fantasy before the end of the show. I'm sorry, we'll pivot back to leagues right before the end of the show, the app. But want to jump right into sports real quick since we're talking basketball. There's been an interesting trade that's happened over the last 24, 36 hours or so, I guess you could say. Can't say that I'm surprised, but it's just an interesting time in NBA basketball history for me. Just kind of how we grew up. So Kyrie Irving has now been traded to the Dallas Mavericks, right? I've
Yeah.
been trying to think, and I probably just need to do some research, but I feel like Kyrie in his prime is probably the most traveled NBA superstar the NBA has ever seen. You know what I mean? Like I just couldn't think like he's in his prime, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of another superstar that is like moved around from team to team as much as he has, right? And I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out what that is, right?
James Harden was right there, I think, from Oklahoma City to Houston to Brooklyn
Yeah,
to
but
Philly.
but you
Like
think
it
about
was,
it though,
yeah,
in from Oklahoma City, he established himself in Oklahoma, so
Houston, yeah,
you expected that move, right? So he was a six man in
to
Oklahoma.
Houston, yeah, to
Yeah, you
Houston,
expected that move to Houston. So
yeah,
I don't necessarily count that first hop.
yeah,
Kyrie has been Cleveland, where he was pretty much, I would say, if he wasn't a superstar, he was right on the cusp of being a
oh
superstar
yeah,
before they traded
oh
him
yeah,
to
oh
superstar.
yeah,
From Cleveland to Boston, right?
yeah.
Superstar status, didn't stay long. I don't know how. What did he stay? 2 years maybe.
I think a
Um,
year, yeah.
a year, right?
He was here, yeah,
Yeah, from Boston to the Nets, which they orchestrated, by the way, right? Which they had conversations, and he wanted to be with KD and with another superstar, orchestrated that, um, and now from Brooklyn to Dallas, right? So my question is, what are your feelings about that? And personally, for me, really quick, it's just my thoughts are just like I'm trying to figure out for Kyrie, he has um, this personal ideology that I can kind of get behind in terms of the whole ownership and control and all of these things. Like I can applaud him on the way he's trying to manage his career. Now, on the other hand, when it doesn't necessarily line up or align with his career, if that makes sense, right? It's hard, and maybe it isn't for me to see, right? But it's just really hard to see and understand the purpose. Does he want to hoop? Or does he just want to make the bread so he can get out and do some other things for his community and for himself and his family, which is also fine because at the end of the
mm,
day, NBA is, I mean, playing basketball is a job, right?
yeah.
So, what are your thoughts?
Well, first, I am surprised, and well, I don't know, a little surprised that it moved so quickly. I'm actually glad that Dallas got into the mix because I think Mark Cuban made the right move because Luca needs help, because that West is tough and you only have a small window to sort of capitalize. And when you have an opportunity to bring on a talent like Kyrie, like you got to pull the trigger. So I think it was a good move for Dallas. As far as Kyrie, like I don't know, man. You gotta I you knew that he was positioning himself for a max contract. Um, and you know that if Brooklyn wasn't going to play ball, like he wasn't going to be happy and he would definitely show his hand. Like, I don't know. The thing that I struggle with about Kyrie is, does Kyrie want to win championships? Like I know he wants to ball. Like he wants to ball and ball at a high level. I I think he wants to have fun balling, but he also wants the contract like that is consistent with his his production. Like he wants that max contract, and I don't think he at this point really cares where it comes from. Meaning I don't know if he cares if it comes from a team that doesn't give him the best chance to win in a championship. And that's what I'm trying. I don't really know about Kyrie. He has one championship. Is that enough? Like I feel like James Harden is still trying to chase that championship, so he's gonna go to places where I think he feels like he has the best chance, and he may or may not get the biggest bag. I think Kyrie is going where he can get the biggest bag. um, I don't think he really care. I don't know if he cares as much about his legacy when it comes to the number of championships that he has or even had an opportunity to get. Like that's where I struggle with Kyrie. Like where's his passion? Where for building a championship legacy. Like I
Yeah.
don't know if he cares enough. I don't know care. I just don't know where
Right.
his mind is there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's the hooper. Like there's
Right.
no denying
Yeah.
that the dude is like super talented, and he
Yep.
when he balls out.
There's no one like him
Yeah, there's
at
no
that
one
position.
like him, but I don't know what he sees basketball as a job,
Right.
as a fun thing to do. But if I'm gonna do it at a high level, you gotta pay me to do it. Like, and championships are just secondary. If you make it, you make it. Like I don't know how he views basketball at this point. Like maybe
Yeah.
he
I don't know either, man. It's really strange. And then the thing is too, for as a hooper, it's just like you want to play, right? And you get.
yeah
I think that there's a huge disconnect, and some of this I also understand as a um, like as a bystander on the outside looking in, is maybe there's some other things going on within their organization that Kyrie is just like I cannot get with, right? So I
yeah
can completely understand that. But there's also this element of like when you look at Kyrie's production in terms of how much he's played, and whether or not he chooses or he plays the game to get paid, and then I'm not going to play. I think the pandemic aside, like you can't. I don't think anybody can fault him for making the decision for how he felt in terms of whether he wanted to take the vaccine or not. Like you can't force
mm-hmm,
somebody to put something in there. That's just not where we live. Like it's just
mm-hmm.
um, kind of how we're designed as a country in some aspects. So you can respect that. You can't really count it. I mean, yeah, you kind of upset with it because you wanted him to. It impacted his team, but he's thinking about himself and his family, so that's fine. But then when you look at over the rest of his career, whether it was injuries or other reasons, like he plays this disappearing act, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he's got to own up to that too. Like so, when you ask for this max contract, you got to understand that people are also from a business side, they take that into consideration. Like,
yeah,
and you don't come to work.
yeah.
You
Right,
don't come to
right.
work either. I mean, we get the best of you when you here,
Yeah,
but you only here 2 days out of the week. So what you
right,
want me to do? But you won't max.
right.
You know what I mean? So
That's right.
what faith and promises are you giving me? How do we come into this negotiation whole, like, or leave this negotiation both whole? Like, we know injuries happen, we know these things, and you're not. But if you can be here, we expect you to be here, right?
Be here.
And I
Yeah,
want to be able to trust that you can do that. So I can understand like how some organizations could probably be like, nah, yeah, I'm gonna stay away. I'm gonna
yeah,
stay away from that one. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's undeniable that you can question his commitment
Sure.
like 100%.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody can look at Brooklyn sideways and say, how could they sort of demand that he waits to the end of the year for the decision? Like,
Yeah.
look, man, this dude uh, in, in
Mm.
any given day, he might say, "Look, man, I need 2 weeks or something." Like
Right.
in the midst of a
Right.
trying to get the
Yeah.
playoff berth, like I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I don't know, but it's interesting, and
It
it'll
is,
shake up the West a little bit. Um, Definitely makes it that much more hard for LeBron. The other thing to think about too, though, from a Dallas Mavericks perspective, how um, how is Jason Kidd going to handle Kyrie and Luca, right? Because you could also argue that there's this element of uh, superstar killer, right? Like he's been
Yeah,
on multiple teams with superstars, and it's just like it doesn't work out, right? We
yeah,
know that Dallas is Luca's team. Everybody knows that. Even
yeah,
with Kyrie on it, Luca's
yep,
team, right? But we will see
yeah,
how that all meshes together, right?
yeah.
So,
I think Luca could be a little more LeBron esque as a co-star with Kyrie. Like
mhm.
he can defer to Kyrie when Kyrie needs it. I think. I mean, KD and Kyrie were both scorers. Like they're gonna go get buckets. I think the Kyrie Luca on paper looks a little more consistent with what a 1-2 punch looks like for a championship team. Um, so I don't know. I think still it just depends on what they surround the two with.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I
it'll
think
be
it's good for the league, man. I mean,
it's good for the league.
All Star break is coming up.
Yeah,
Second half of the season is about to start, and that's where I think all the they get excited. But um, you know, more to come. More to come. It should be exciting. We'll have some other topics to talk about as
I
the
want to hear from KD though. Like
yeah.
I haven't
I
heard from
don't.
KD.
I don't.
You know,
No, man. KD's so passive aggressive. It's annoying.
yeah,
It's
it's annoying.
annoying, man. Man, plant your feet in the
He
sand,
just won't
man.
come out and say
Yeah,
how he truly
yeah.
feels.
KD, no, KD. In my opinion, KD could have had 2 championships in OKC if he'd have just planted his flag, right? In my opinion, again, I'm not in the locker room. X, Y, and Z. Westbrook is going to be Westbrook, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but all of these kind of a roundabout ways of getting his voice of being heard is just like I I I don't dig it, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just me. I mean, he's a dog. I think KD just really wants to hoop.
yeah,
He could do away with all of the media stuff, the back and forth. Like I don't think he really likes that, so he does these things as a distraction. He really just wants to play ball, and I can respect him for that, right? Because he goes out when he's there and when he's healthy. KD
yeah.
is KD, right?
Bucket.
Absolutely respect that, but I don't know. I mean, if he comes out and saying guaranteed he's gonna say something that's just like it's gonna be it's gonna be indirect. It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah. It'll be
speak to me.
ambiguous. You're gonna
Yeah,
have to. People are gonna be trying to decipher it and say, "What he
sure.
really trying to
What?
say?" Yeah, no,
Right.
it's
So
never just straight. Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But
So
hey, that's the league. So we've hit our timer. Um, so like I like to say to the teams that I'm coaching, the young men that I'm coaching these days, take us out of here, Mr. Founder and CEO.
we in prayer? No, I'm just. We're doing. I would
we are
definitely.
absolutely not
No,
in prayer,
no,
but we need to be. So we'll take it. I'll take it. Take us out of here in
that's
prayer,
all. No,
Pastor.
that's all. That's all good. It's all good. Godspeed. Now this has been fun, man. I appreciate the opportunity. Um, you know, we are growing at League Swipe. We're building at League Swipe. We hope everybody listening will join in and download and just pay attention to what we're doing, man. Like I said, it's been built by real folks who enjoy the game, enjoy the games, and want to add value along the way. So download, man. League Swipe, Google, Apple. Stay tuned. Super Bowl squares are up and running. We'll throw it in the chat. Go ahead and join up. Share that around. We want to get as many folks participating as possible, man. So, uh, you know, things are good. See y'all next week. Appreciate you, Terrell.
Amen.
Yes, sir. And God, have a blessed week.
Catch y'all next week, man.
Catch y'all next week. Take care.